So, you think O negative is VIP blood, like being the chosen one? That sounds epic, but the harsh truth of genetics is that it mostly boils down to population history and simple probability.
This video is going to bust the blood type personality myth wide open and redraw the evolutionary map using established, accurate knowledge. 1. Blood types. Understand the facts so you don't fall for the hype.
Blood types. Don't turn medical testing into fortune-telling. A blood type, simply put, is like a specific ID badge on your red blood cells. If the badges match, the transfusion works.
That ID badge is actually the antigen. Think of it like a team uniform. You know right away who's on your side and who's the opposition. If Alex has Antigen A, the body usually rejects those with Antigen B, which causes incompatibility issues.
If Sarah goes to the ER, the doctor isn't going to ask for her horoscope. They immediately ask for her blood type to prevent a catastrophic transfusion reaction.
Meanwhile, Ben hears the rumor that blood type determines personality and starts self-identifying as stubborn, effectively turning his own life into a self-fulfilling prophecy.
The simple takeaway: blood type is a matter of biology and immunity, while personality and character are determined by education and environment.
2. O positive, a key survival advantage that once protected entire communities.
O positive has extremely deep evolutionary roots and historically served as a shield against severe malaria in areas suffering high disease pressure. Imagine ancient Alex living in a mosquito-infested swamp where malaria hit people like a freight train. Only those with a slight immune advantage were able to survive and thrive. When that founding population expanded, the founder effect took hold. If the original group had a high frequency of type O, subsequent generations retained that high frequency. The cool thing about type O is that it produces no A or B antigens, meaning certain pathogens that rely on those antigens to attach miss their target completely. Don't mistakenly believe type O is common because of some blood type diet fad. The actual story is rooted in historical migration patterns and pressure from deadly pathogens. The practical takeaway: when you see a high rate of type O somewhere, think survival history before you think the next big diet trend. 3. A positive. When humanity started settling down, disease changed the rules of the game.
A positive is often observed in regions tied to the rise of agriculture and densely populated settlements. Picture Ben, an ancient farmer living wall to wall with neighbors, sharing water and food storage. Close contact infectious diseases soared.
In this context, type A was stably transmitted through generations because of long-term settlement. Crucially, factors like lighter skin tone or specific nutritional adaptation are governed by different gene systems. They don't automatically come bundled with type A. The concise lesson: blood type isn't a preset combo pack of appearance and personality, it's simply one tiny fragment of the larger genetic blueprint. 4. B positive, the footprint of ancient migration routes and the shift toward livestock farming.
B positive is typically found in areas with a history of heavily mixed migration, particularly along major nomadic and ancient trade routes.
Imagine Alex living alongside massive herds of livestock, constantly exposed to zoonotic pathogens. Their immune system had to be incredibly adaptable to maintain balance. These repeated waves of movement reinforced the frequency of type B, as these human crossroads rarely had a closed or isolated gene pool. The map reading lesson: type B isn't simply the result of one specific climate, it's the result of human migratory paths and expansive contact networks. 5. AB positive, the ultimate mixed blood, often flourishing where populations frequently interact. Type AB can receive both A and B, meaning statistically it requires the A and B lineages to intermingle for a sufficiently long time. Wherever a region acts as a genetic melting pot between A and B populations, AB is given fertile ground to flourish over generations. Someone with type AB might hear people call it mysterious, but in reality, it's just the natural result of genetic mixing, not some kind of extraterrestrial bloodline.
The simple mnemonic: to understand AB, just remember A plus B. It's the story of convergence and blending.
6. The Rh factor, why the negative-positive status can sometimes lead to serious complications.
R-negative, often a genetic coincidence rather than a special privilege. The critical distinction of O-negative isn't the O, which is ancient and common, but the much rarer R-negative component.
Rh-negative tends to concentrate in specific areas due to the founder effect, genetic drift, and long-term population isolation. To put it simply, over a coffee break, if a town sees very little inward migration, a rare gene has a chance to stick around, not because that gene is inherently superior.
There is also a persistent misconception, mystically linking O-negative to exotic or ancient groups, but the population data simply does not support that narrative.
Furthermore, O-negative does not grant any special evolutionary immunity. Its prominence is almost entirely due to that historical population context.
The reality check. Just because something is rare doesn't mean it's inherently superior. Often, it's just the result of probability mixed with history.
7. The Rh factor and pregnancy, an immune system misunderstanding that can turn into a serious medical problem.
If an Rh-negative mother carries an Rh-positive fetus, her body can become sensitized and learn to produce antibodies that may attack the baby's blood in a subsequent pregnancy.
That's why modern medicine uses immune prophylaxis, a protective injection given at the right time to prevent complications in subsequent pregnancies.
Families often panic when they hear about the Rh shot, but essentially it just acts as an immune system mediator to prevent that fatal misunderstanding.
The stress-reducing lesson: don't fear the Rh factor. Fear a lack of information, because knowledge in this area truly saves both mother and baby.
Part 4. Understanding the facts to take action. Stop debating blood types and start doing something meaningful.
8. Blood donation. When the system needs you, don't let superstition dictate your actions.
Many people with O-negative feel pressure because they are often called upon in emergencies, as their universal compatibility is critically useful in urgent trauma situations.
But remember this crucial difference. Being useful in a transfusion is entirely separate from having an evolutionary superpower. Don't confuse the two and give yourself a mythical halo.
A major surgery or organ transplant requires extremely tight blood supply management because even a slight compatibility mismatch can have devastating consequences.
Sometimes AB negative is even rarer because it requires both A plus B traits and Rh negative, essentially winning the lottery twice for low probability.
This is why hospitals must operate their blood banks with wartime logistics precision, constantly optimizing reserves and coordination efforts.
The civic lesson. If you are eligible, treat blood donation as a regular civic responsibility, not just an emotional impulse or seasonal campaign.
9. Rh null, or golden blood. Extremely rare, but don't turn it into a myth.
People hear about Rh null and start imagining golden blood, and while it's true it is incredibly rare, sometimes only a few dozen cases have ever been recorded globally.
Rarity does not equate to power. Rarity just means medical logistics must be extremely precise. The sobering lesson: the truly remarkable thing isn't the rare blood, but the worldwide care network that allows those rare individuals to live healthy lives.
10. Mosquitoes and blood type preference. Don't let anecdotal evidence trump biological mechanism.
You might notice that as an O-positive person, you get bitten by mosquitoes often, and that sounds logical. However, what truly attracts mosquitoes are factors like CO2 output, skin microbes, sweat composition, and lifestyle habits. When we focus solely on blood type while ignoring the total biological mechanism, we easily fall into the trap of looking for a single explanation for everything.
The lesson in skepticism: use blood type knowledge where it belongs, in medicine. For mosquito issues, prioritize environment and behavior control.
11. The core essence. Everything points back to genetics and population history.
O positive tells the story of natural selection against severe diseases and long-range migration. A positive tells the story of agriculture and settled life changing disease patterns.
B positive tells the story of convergence and extensive animal contact during long journeys. AB positive tells the story of persistent genetic mixing across countless generations.
Raw negative tells the story of genetic randomness and isolated gene pools, which is why it remains rare but persistent. The final takeaway: your blood type is a historical blueprint stored within your body, not a crystal ball reading your destiny.
D. A quick, easy-to-digest conclusion. If you only remember one core thing today, remember that blood type is about immunity, not destiny.
If you remember one pragmatic action, remember that donating blood is the best way to turn knowledge into saving lives. If you want to go deeper, develop the habit of asking, why does this mechanism operate this way, instead of asking, who is more special than whom?
If you want to explore more astonishing, fascinating concepts that others are afraid to touch, hit that subscribe button now. And if you've already subscribed, welcome home!